Today we're going to walk through one of the most pivotal nights in all of history, the arrest and trial of Jesus. We're going to piece together a step-by-step chronology of what happened, pulling directly from the historical account. Let's jump right in.
So right away, we're on the Mount of Olives just moments before everything goes down. This is Jesus' prayer, and it immediately sets this incredibly intense tone. You can just feel this huge internal battle happening, right? It's this raw human plea that's caught between what he wants and what he knows must happen. This is really the emotional core of the whole story.
Okay, so let's really set the scene here. Our story kicks off in these final tense moments of quiet, right before the storm breaks.
He's there with his inner circle, his closest followers, and he gives them this one last, crucial instruction. He can clearly feel the immense pressure of the moment, and not just for himself, but for them too. After saying this, he goes a little ways off to be alone and pray.
And what you see here is just, wow, what a contrast. On one hand, you have Jesus in such deep anguish that his sweat is literally described as being like drops of blood. And on the other hand, his disciples are fast asleep. The account says they were exhausted from sorrow. It just perfectly captures his complete and total isolation in this critical hour.
And just like that, the quiet is shattered. Because this is where everything changes. This is the turning point of the night, the betrayal and the arrest.
Okay, so things start moving fast now, really fast. A crowd shows up, led by Judas, of all people, one of his own 12. Judas uses a kiss to identify Jesus, and in the chaos, one of Jesus' followers pulls a sword and cuts off a servant's ear. But Jesus shuts it down immediately, saying no more of this. And then, get this, he actually heals the guy's ear, right then and there.
This question just hangs in the air, doesn't it? I mean, a kiss, right? That was a sign of friendship, of brotherhood. To use that intimate gesture as the actual signal for a betrayal, the weight of those words is just profound.
So as they're taking him away, Jesus says this directly to the guards and the priests. You'll notice he isn't fighting it. It's almost like he's saying, okay, this is your moment. Darkness gets to have its hour. It's a statement of grim acceptance.
Now, while all of that is happening with Jesus, there's this whole other drama playing out just outside in the courtyard. It's a deeply human story of loyalty and fear, and it's all about his most passionate disciple, Peter.
So Peter, who had been following from a safe distance, is now just sitting by a fire when a servant girl points him out. First denial, woman, I don't know him. A little later, someone else says, hey, you're one of them. Second denial, man, I am not. Then, about an hour goes by, and a third person insists they saw him with Jesus. And for the third and final time, Peter says, man, I don't know what you're talking about.
And right then, the account says, just as he was speaking, a rooster crows. This is the exact sound Jesus had predicted would mark Peter's denial. The timing is just absolutely devastating.
And this is the killer detail. From wherever they're holding him, Jesus hears it. He turns and he looks straight at Peter, all the way across the courtyard. Not a single word is spoken, but that one silent glance says everything. It's this moment of connection right at the absolute point of failure.
And just like that, it all comes crashing down on Peter. He remembers the prediction, and the full weight of what he's just done completely crushes him. He has to get out of there, and he just breaks down.
All right, let's shift our focus back to Jesus now. While the authorities are waiting for sunrise to get the official religious council together, he's basically just left with the guards.
And this is where the torment really begins, both physical and psychological. You can see here the guards start mocking him, they beat him, and then they blindfold him and taunt him, saying, prophesy, tell us who hit you. It's just a scene of relentless humiliation.
So the sun comes up and finally the Sanhedrin, that's the supreme Jewish religious council, they all get together. This is the formal interrogation they've been waiting all night to hold.
And they don't waste any time. They cut right to the chase. The main question is all about his identity. Are you the Messiah, the long-awaited king? This seems to be the political charge they're really after. Now, Jesus' response here is fascinating. He pretty much says, look, you're not asking me this in good faith. If I tell you, you won't believe me anyway. So instead of a simple yes, he pivots. He declares his true identity and authority, not in their terms, but in his own, talking about his future position of ultimate power. And this is where they show they're clever. They hear him mention the Son of Man seated next to God, and they immediately reframe the question. They pivot away from the political charge of Messiah, and they zero in on what they consider to be religious blasphemy.
Are you then the Son of God?
And this is it. This is the moment the whole thing turns on. It's an affirmation. Sure, the phrasing kind of puts the statement back on them, but it's a yes. He's not backing down. He accepts the title, and in doing that, he seals his own fate.
And for the council? That's it. That's all they needed to hear. His own words are the only testimony they need. Their verdict is fast. From their point of view, he just convicted himself. Case closed. So that brings our chronicle of this incredible night to a close. And it leaves us with this question. In this one single story, we saw Jesus acting from conviction, Peter acting out of fear, and Judas acting from betrayal. It really makes you think, doesn't it? When the pressure is truly on, what is it that governs our choices?